If I could give you one thing for the next 12 months, it would be an offer that gets people to say yes faster, gets contracts signed sooner, and has you deliver easier. And I'm here to tell you that's exactly possible. Over the last 10 years, I've created more offers, more six-figure sales, and built consultants up from startup to setup to grow up, probably more than anybody in the industry using one model. Now, you may have seen a similar shape, but just because it's the same shape model doesn't mean there's the same philosophy and meaning behind it. Some of the biggest thinkers in the game have borrowed some of the tactics I'm about to share with you to literally sign $10,000, $20,000, up to six-figure contracts by being able to articulate, demonstrate, and differentiate themselves in a sea of sameness. And I want to give you the framework for you to do the same using what I call the money model. The reality is that the quality of your offer determines the quality of your business. But I want to emphasize something here, right? Most consultants I speak with have the experience and expertise. They have all the pieces, but they just don't have a process or a way to talk about what they do that is simple enough for people to say yes. Now, you've been lied to. I believe this, and I've seen this before. Has anyone ever told you about you need to do your niche and your avatar? Well, if they have and you've been doing that, you'll realize that once you do your niche and the avatar, how does that translate into actual business? Now, let me share something with you. Grab a piece of paper and a pen. And by the way, if you love this and you want a copy of these notes and these frameworks, just type frameworks below, and I'll send you a copy of everything that you see today, right? Just to make sure that you have the notes and frameworks sent directly to you. Now, in a world of business marketing, most marketers will give you a what and a who in relation to what you do, right? Which is fine. You have to position yourself in a way that gets people to go, I know what you do, right? So we want to tick this box. So the first thing that you want to do is be able to articulate what you do. So you say, yeah, I'm a business consultant. I'm a business coach. I'm an engineer. I'm an accountant. Like, people need to understand what you do. There's no point saying, I'm a mystical leprechaun healer that creates money through magical marketing, right? Trying to sound different doesn't make you differentiated. It makes the market confused. And if they can't label you, they can't like you. It's as simple as that. So what we want to do is be able to say to someone, this is what I am. This is the label that you would know me as in the market. And this is kind of who I help. These are the people. This is the title, the industry, and the location of the people that I work with. Right? So that's 20% of a good offer. Most people, however, don't buy based on what you label yourself as and who you help, right? And if you just do that alone, you will always compete on price, right? Because you're just like everybody else. How many other whats are there with the same label and people who help the same who? Heaps of people. But I want you to become what I call a category of one consultant, because ultimately there are only three things that people want to buy, right? They want speed and efficiency. They want to make money and save, so time, speed and efficiency, money, they want to make it or save it, or effort or energy. They want convenience and ease. And so this is why most people won't buy from you based on the fact that you say, well, I'm just a what, and I'm a business coach and I help small business owners, right? Or I help engineers. That's not enough. What people actually buy is your process. And so when you have a money model, you can articulate what you do and you can demonstrate how you do it, right? So I can say, great, this is what I am. I'm a business coach. This is who I help. Insert person, engineers, CEOs, executives. This is what I do, right? Which is the name of your signature system, the name of your process. So it's the name of your process. And this is how your process works. It becomes the plan. And so when you have all four of these together, 80% of your marketing becomes easier because you've got the most important piece, the process. And your process is where you differentiate, right? Because there's only one person who has the same process as you, and it's you. Unless someone rips you off and steals from you, which wouldn't be the first time that's happened to me. But what I want to do is I want to share with you exactly how we can do that so you can walk away with an offer that you can articulate, an offer that you can demonstrate, and an offer that you can differentiate with. So you have an advantage in the marketplace. And as I said, if you're finding value in this video, like, subscribe, comment below, or tag me in a post in LinkedIn and let me know that this was useful to you. Have a crack at it. Share your first version one with me. I'd love to see what you've created from the work we've done together in today's video. So let's dive in, shall we? I'm going to, if you haven't already, just comment the word framework, I believe is what I've asked you to put in, framework. And what I'll do is I will send you a copy of this, everything I've got here today. So the first thing that I want to talk about is your money model. See, most consultants are very complicated. Their offer, the outcome that they have is usually either one, it's intangible, two, it's too transformational that it's general and generic, or three, it's complex. It's very hard to explain simply. And so what I want to say to you is that your business is not just a series of things, modalities that you use to deliver a service. It's actually an outcome. It's a possibility, right, that you help somebody create. So what is the big transformation? If I was to say to you, okay, the possibility, the outcome that your clients really want and that you can confidently deliver. So here's the questions I would ask you if we were working together one-on-one right now. I say, so what is the tangible outcome you get for your clients? And we would drill down on that because the first answer you give me is not going to be great. I can promise you that. What outcome do you want to be famous and recognized for? For example, I had a client the other day, he said, I'm a cheerleader for entrepreneurs. I'm like, great, so that what? So that what? And we came up with the fact that he creates a 7-figure operating system. Now, you might say, but that's generic. Well, of course it's generic. Again, people need to know exactly what it is that you do. You can't sound so different, so ordinary, so general that people don't care about you. You still have to have something in the market that you stand for. What are you the best in the world at? And so the question is, what's the destination that your clients would pay you well to deliver them to? If you can't articulate that, how can you think that they are going to be interested in that? No one's going to be clearer than you are. So the first thing that we want to do is help people get super clear on the possibility. So for us, we want to help consultants build a 500K, we call it 500K formula, the 500K consulting business with less than 20 clients working 4 days a week. That's us. Most of our consultants we work with want lifestyle businesses. I still work with clients doing $1 million, more than $1 million, less than 500K. But the reality is this is what I call a signal outcome. It signals what you stand for and what you can do. And for me, it's helping you generate more revenue easier and faster. So you get that. Now, when I talk to you, you'll tell me your version of this and I'll write that down, but that's the reality, right? And then what we want to be able to do, once you've got your possibility, we want to be able to understand, you need to be able to understand why aren't people achieving that outcome? What is stopping them from achieving that outcome? So if we zoom out and I look at these 3 problems, why can't people achieve that thing in the middle? What is strategically, tactically missing, or what are they challenged by that they could relate to and say, I just don't have this, or I'm missing this, or something's bugging me, something's stopping me. And so we kind of call this the foundations, and the foundations are essentially the problems. These are the common problems that are stopping your client strategically from making progress. So these are what I call the 3 fixes. We've got to fix these things. We've got to create these foundations to make sure people can make progress. And so here are the things that you want to ask yourself when you do this. What are the 3 common problem areas or themes that stop your clients achieving the outcome? What strategic step is missing or broken that is derailing them? Where does their strategy break down and what do they blame instead? And so in our world, when I'm talking to clients about what we do, the first thing that I look at is I say, look, most of the people that we work with, their model, they are not positioned well, they haven't packaged their service well, and that means that their offer is very hard to articulate and impossible to demonstrate because it's usually complex and complicated. As a result, they work far too hard. Marketing isn't as clear as it needs to be, and sales feels really difficult. So, first thing is we want to help you install a money model to make your offer really clear so you get to yes faster, right? You can see that what I've done is I've just articulated a problem. If you don't have a good offer, can you get to 500K, yes or no? No, it's very difficult. You could wing it, but are you going to get there consistently? No. Second, we talk about your message, right? If you don't have a good model and a good offer, your message won't be clear or it will be inconsistent, which means the interest that you get is lumpy. It means sometimes you're good. If you're active, it works. If you're not active, it doesn't. When you're busy with delivery, you don't do marketing. If it's not clear, you feel like you're just talking, saying all this great stuff to people that don't see the value in it. It's like, why aren't people seeing the value that I see in it? Right? And so we have to help people go design a campaign that gets people wanting to say yes, wanting to work with you and generating consistent interest, right? If you don't have a marketing system or a marketing strategy, can you build a 500K business? No, you can't. So then the next thing is monetize. For us, it's monetize. It's about how we turn interest into income. So when I think about this for us, I go, well, you know, most of our clients, because they aren't clear, they don't have a good model. Their model's it's not right. It's not optimized. It's not aligned to what they want. It's just something ad hoc. Their messaging is inconsistent, or basically they're invisible. And therefore, how they monetize is word of mouth and referral. It's always day rates, short-term contracts, project work. It's not long-term retainer-based consistent revenue, right? So they're the real reasons why people can't achieve a 500K business. If we solve these three things, business becomes easier, more predictable, results are more consistent, and you could start to make visible progress faster, easier, sooner. So what I'd like you to do is think of, what are the problems stopping your clients from achieving the outcome? What are they strategically? What are those problems? And you go, I want you to think about that. And I want you to write that down. So all of a sudden now, you've got this thing in the middle that your clients should absolutely want, the thing that you stand for, the thing that you're known for, the best in the world at, your process. It's everything that it's the possibility that you create, but why can't people get there? And so when you've got that, there's one more part missing. And by the way, when we work with clients, there's obviously a bigger version of this, but this is what we call your mini money model. It's kind of like a baby version, but it's enough. This is exactly what people use to get sell 10K up to 10K offers with this alone. And so the last piece of this is what I call the fixes, and that's the corners of this triangle, right? And we want to understand the emotional consequences of not addressing the problems. What is the pain and the gain of addressing the problem, right? When it's fixed, this happens. When it's not fixed, when it's broken, this happens. And so I want to talk about that for a second. So if I talk about your model, your offer, what happens? Well, you get a lot of people who say, I'll think about it. Or people say, yeah, that was great, and you feel really good, but then they ghost you. But when you get this right, you get more yeses faster. People say, that is exactly what I need. So when we work with clients, we literally take them from, I'll think about it, to when can we get started? Can you see how that's the emotional link? So what you want to do is do the same thing. Understand your audience enough that you can understand what's stopping them, what they're hearing and what they need to hear. And then I say the same thing about marketing. When we get the marketing right, you move from inconsistent and hope that you get a referral, hope that you get an opportunity, hope that you get a lead, to having consistent opportunity that leaves you feeling confident and in control. When we get the money, when we look at money, if we don't get this right, you're constantly chasing and stressing, right? You're literally living in scope creep, doing as much as you can for a client beyond the scope of what you've sold because you don't want to lose the client. And because you've only got 1 or 2 clients, or maybe they're a big client, you are literally over-delivering, hoping that they don't leave, right? So you're undervaluing yourself and getting less value than you could. When you get this right and you have consistent, predictable revenue, suddenly you can choose, right, and scale. I can choose who I work with and scale with the people I like the most. And by scale, I mean you can have literally 10 to 12 clients that you love to work with that enable you to create cash flow certainty. You know, when you look at your account next month and you know that you've already got retainers coming in, that makes you feel in control. It makes you feel like you have something that can provide for your family and your future. That's the money model. So what I do is I think about your money model as a plan, right? It's a plan to their possibility. When you can articulate and demonstrate the problems that your audience has better than they can, you become the immediate and obvious solution. I'll say that again. If you can articulate the problems and the pains of your audience better than they can, you become the immediate and obvious solution. And so the last piece of this is to understand, one, we've got to articulate the win. This is what you want. This is what you do. And they go, yes, great. This is what's stopping you getting there. And they go, yeah, well, this is what we're going to do to help. Great. Right. Here is what's going to happen if you don't get this right. Can you relate to that? I absolutely can. And lastly, if you don't, this is kind of where we're going to stay, and this is what's going to happen. If you don't do this, if you don't build this out, all you're doing is building a business based on price. If all you're going to do is continue to think that your marketing is just about being a unique what and a who, 20% of the opportunity that you're only going to get 20% of the opportunity that's possible, and probably at a price that's less than you want. Being a category of one consultant means you have a process that people want because it's predictable, consistent, and certain. And that's what people want to pay for. They want something that they know they're going to invest their time, money, and energy into, and it's going to return them something that has predictability and certainty around it. So, if that's been helpful for you today, let me know in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and as I said, if you really want access to these frameworks, just comment frameworks below, and we'll send you a copy of these frameworks. Again, if we haven't met yet, I'm Ron Hosseini. Keep winning. Let me know in the comments below what you found useful, and I'll chat to you soon. Bye for now.